how do we strangle them? Well, they say we won't try to bomb them because we can't. It's too big, and the consequences would be disastrous. We won't use Bush's right-wing methods anymore. We'll use Obama's left-wing methods, and we'll get them to strangle them with, rather than bomb them, strangle them using these left-wing demagogic slogans about global warming and the polar bears and all the rest of this stuff. As far as I can see, he has fallen on his face, and this is one of his primordial tasks. The Anglo-American finance oligarchs wanted him to strangle, above all, China, and he has failed. And
well, I want to bring this up to you, and I want you to break down that good news here, Webster, but the issue is I did watch his press conference with the Russian president, and I don't find the Russian president to be particularly an imposing figure, but Obama was groveling and very supine almost to him. And then same thing with the Saudi king, the bowing, the groveling. When he doesn't have a teleprompter, is that why he got the power? Because every time I see him with even an oil company exec or a banker, he his chief of staff or Geithner, he literally toadies and bows to everyone. And is this a problem for the elite when people keep seeing Obama groveling to anybody and everybody?
He is like Lord Sir Neville Chamberlain. In other words, Obama is a weakling and appeaser by design, in the sense that only by being an appeaser can he be the kind of warmonger that they need. Remember, with Chamberlain said, we're not going to get involved. We're just going to build up Hitler and play him against the Soviets and Stalin, and we'll get rid of both of them in the process, and the British Empire can go on for another 100 years. With Obama, it's the same thing. We are too bankrupt. Our military is at the point of collapse, I would think. We're isolated. We're hated. We can't attack anybody. We've got to play the enemy states one against another, and therefore we need a president who is structurally a weakling and an appeaser, but this hides the cunning, right? The whole dissembling, deception, strategic trickery, duping, brainwashing, hypnosis, all the stuff that Obama brings. That's how he operates. Now, in terms of Russia, I think he bombed there. The first thing is the New York Times admits Obama's magic got him nowhere. The Russians were not impressed. Hats off to the Russians.
Medvedev was looking at him like he was some type of jackass.
Well, and Medvedev is not the strongest. I mean, Putin is the one who really counts. But in terms of the Russian masses, they couldn't care less about Obama. You didn't have 200,000 Russian lemmings for Obama the way you had 200,000 German lemmings at the Brandenburg Gate last year for Obama. That didn't happen. Now, the key one that I watched was the Obama-Putin meeting. This was this breakfast meeting yesterday, and you could see that this was a tense meeting. This was no love fest. And at the end, according to the RT correspondent, Russia Today, cable television, if you can get it, or the Internet, there was an argument. There was an altercation between Putin and Obama. Now, the results of this are what? The U.S. now has the right to fly over Russia to deliver military equipment to Afghanistan. And this is like saying, if you insist on going into the inferno, go ahead. Be our guest. We know what you will find in Afghanistan. You will find defeat and death and destruction and the possible collapse of your own state. So they say, if you really want this, go ahead and do it. So that's the big result. The other one is Medvedev wanted a nuclear states conference, kind of, nuclear issues. The U.S. will accept that too. Funny, will the Israelis be invited? Are they a nuclear state? They sure are, but they never say they are. And then the third one is that if the Iranians give up a nuclear program, which they always say they don't have, if they give it up, then the U.S. will not build the missiles in Poland, right? Now today, Medvedev even says, if they insist on building the missiles, we're going to put these short-range nukes into Kaliningrad, into this exclave of Russia, this East Prussia, pretty much, so we can blow them up within a few minutes. So I think nobody was duped. Not even Medvedev was duped, and for sure not.
I want to briefly talk to you in the final segment, Webster, about Iran. How's that going?
Let me tell you a little bit about one of our great sponsors, HomeGain.com. This is the place to get you started buying or selling a home, finding a realtor, and getting any real estate questions answered. Go to HomeGain.com and see what I'm talking about. All you need to do is type in your home address, and you will get an instant free estimate of your home's value online. This is a great way to be able to monitor the value of your home. And again, it's absolutely free. There are tons of tools to help you. For instance, if you want to remodel your home, go to HomeGain.com. Use their Home Sale Maximizer to help you determine which home improvements can most increase your home's value before you put it on the market. For 10 years, these folks have been helping home sellers and buyers. Visit their link at Infowars.com. Look for Max, the orange Home Gain Gorilla, to help you with any real estate needs you might have. You'll love this site. It's HomeGain.com, HomeGain.com. Check them out today.
Webster, we know they've been spying on 9/11 Truth. They've had congressional hearings demonizing Richard Gage and others with a thermite and thermate. But a lot of other evidence of harassment of 9/11 truthers. Some black ops setups where they come out of dark alleys with women in wheelchairs and ram you and say you attacked them. And we had to fight that in court, and that was exposed as a fraud. The New York Post had to retract. They've now done that again where they attack your car and then say you tried to run over them. That just happened to a 9/11 truther where they now run out and jump on your car. They've got local police that's coming out. A Q section at NSA is now really concerned and spying on government people in the NSA and CIA concerning who know about 9/11 being an inside job. I mean, when do they run out of gas? I mean, sure, people know they're crooks and liars, but they don't seem to care. Do they run out of gas in places like Iran? Do they really think they could overthrow it staging that thing? Or was it just meant to demonize Iran ahead of Israeli military strikes? What do you see there?
I think this was a semi-serious, halfway serious, and maybe totally serious attempt to have a people power coup, color revolution, velvet revolution, postmodern coup, as I say in my book about Obama, the postmodern coup. However, it's failed. Now, I think what you're going to see there is Ahmadinejad is something like a soldier or a secret police guy. He's like Putin in some ways, not as smart. But the big problem he's got is these mullahs are an albatross. You know, they're an albatross around his neck. The mullahs are bad news. The mullahs are the people who send out the morality police to harass women in the streets. I think now that a lot of the mullahs have turned against Ahmadinejad, he might say, look, let's dump the mullahs. Let's go to a straight bureaucratic authoritarian state where we won't come and try to harass you for wearing headscarves or not, or whatever, whatever other stuff they try to enforce with these morality police, and that he would get then a new kind of stability. As
all right, let me stop you quickly. We're almost out of time. Are you saying CIA clearly involved bringing Ayatollah Khomeini in?
And the other one,
and then now it's
Alex,
the mullahs.
In the last minute. The big thing is China, right? This thing in China, Urumqi, this is huge. China, that's a superpower. They have real nukes. This is all run from here in Washington. It's this woman, Rabiha Kadir, right? This is the World Uyghur Congress of Rabiha Kadir.
So that blow-up we just saw was staged, you're saying?
Absolutely staged. They get $550,000 from Project Democracy under Richard Gebhardt. They did it a year ago with the Turkestan Islamic Party. They had bombings going on. That wouldn't fly because the head of it was this Commander Saif, and he was, he was an ugly sort of Al-Qaeda figure, right? Some kind of a bin Laden. Now they have this Passionaria, this woman, Rabiha Kadir, who staged, she called into the place, alerted her organization. They had a clash in a factory on the 26th of June, and then they blew it up on the 5th of July. Now, the cyber attacks, right, the cyber attacks on the U.S. and South Korea are the retaliation by China saying, you interfere in Xinjiang, in Chinese Turkestan, we have an even cheaper and more deniable way to come back at you, and that could get to be huge. In other words, if the U.S. doesn't back off and stop this constant meddling and interference, then the Chinese retaliation in the Internet could become very, very serious, right?
You're saying, I know the West is there, but you're saying while they're asking China to hold the T-bills and prop us up, they're busy staging, and we know they did in Tibet.
Absolutely. It all comes from the U.S. It's this woman, and it's all documented. This is, you can go to the Xinhua, New China News Agency. They have a whole tape where they explain.
No, I know about it. I just didn't know this latest. It just never ends. Webster, amazing interview as usual. Both your books available on Obama at Infowars.com. Suggest folks get them. Invaluable reading. You're also in my film. The Obama Deception, available at Infowars.com. This is the film to get and show people for folks to understand what's happening. Thank you, Webster. Good to have you with us.
My pleasure always, Alex. More power to you.
More power to you, buddy.
Bye.
Back this Sunday, 4 to 6 p.m. Central with the Abbreviated Sunday Show. And back next Monday. Great job, crew. Retransmission with all the key info starts now. Infowars.com. 24-hour-a-day streaming. Take care.